Hi, I'm Miranda HP.
And I'm Connor Calloway.
And together we are
The Bountiful Bards.
Thanks for tuning in to our one-on-one D&D podcast.
The Fountains of Cathaidra. And there's the finger point, which means I am allowed to start talking. Miranda points at me and lets me know that everything is good on our recording studio as far as we can make it anyways.
Doing the best we can.
Good morning, dear. How are you?
Oh, I woke up and now I'm going to make it everybody else's problem.
Okay. But I'm the only one here.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. But there's animals too. Hopefully you can make it their problem as well.
I don't know, they work really hard at making everything my problem in the first place, so I feel like they're just like, oh good, you're on our level.
They certainly wake us up early enough. Sometimes I just think maybe we should just put them outside for the night. I'm joking. We do not have outside cats.
Or dog. Can you imagine the noise she would make?
Oh yeah, it would be absolutely
terrible. Where's my
terrible.
air conditioning vent?
Yeah, I need to lick the vent. It has the moisture. All right. We're on episode 55.
Oh my.
And we're getting ever so closer to 1,000 downloads.
Anyway.
Did you hear that, Miranda? 1,000 downloads. Our podcast that we record.
Doesn't look like anything to me.
Oh, okay. Where are you right now?
I'm in front of my microphone and next to my piano.
Oh, that's good. But your microphone's not recording anything.
I don't mind if it records. It's just for you.
It's just for me. All right, let me get my stopwatch going. And click. It's always good to keep up with the time and such.
You have to tell your watch to stop? That's impolite.
So are you ready to start the session?
Let's do it.
Wonderful. Leah.
Yep.
You wake up in your room at the Mended Man. It's hot. Why is it so hot? What's wrong with the air?
Yeah.
Is this humidity?
Ah!
It is.
It's not the heat that'll get you. It's the humidity.
You wake up and you're not sweating, but you've definitely kicked off the blanket that they gave you and you've just kind of been...
It's sticky.
Basking in your own juices. Yeah, it's a little sticky. You're definitely probably not used to this.
Prestidigitation.
You do that, and with a quick whoosh, and you are cleaned up appropriately.
See, honestly, I think that was like the best spell in the world. Like if I got to learn any one spell in real life, it would be that. Just because you imagine the usefulness of it.
Oh yeah, just the like if you could have any of the cantrips to use in the day-to-day life, what would it be?
I said any spell.
Oh, I understand that.
Like all the other ones, whatever. But this you could use constantly, over and over and over again, and it would do so much.
That is true. And what I like most about it is that you can conjure up a mundane object just on a whim. So if I needed a tool, I could just conjure up a tool and it would work and then it would vanish.
You see what I mean? Like
right.
It just has so many uses. Like you wouldn't, like you could take like, you're like, oh, I've been outside for 2 seconds in Alabama. Oh, look, now I'm not super gross and sticky anymore.
That's very true.
Can you imagine how much money you would save because you wouldn't have to take showers constantly?
Oh, that would be wonderful. I mean, if I had hair, my hair would always be clean, but I don't because,
I keep shaving off more of it, so
I got the disease. I need to, next time I'm gonna make a wig out of your hair and just wear yours.
Okay, I don't know how much of it I'm going to continue to shave unless you want me to take all of it off.
I don't know. You're like an alpaca or a sheep. You just,
just
3 months and then we're gonna get another just full coat off of you.
Mm.
So, anyways, enough about this growing bodily hair. Oh, you don't need this. We gotta watch Harley Quinn. You wake up in your room.
Mm-hmm.
There's sunshine coming in through the window. You're on the second floor. You can hear some bustling out in the streets beside you already. And you can hear some commotion downstairs. Just the usual, waking up in an inn kind of thing. What would you like to do today? As a refresher, you have 2 days into the heist. And you just spoke to a rather interesting fellow by the name of...
Tuft. Tuft.
Yes.
Tuft.
Was it Tuft?
Magic badger.
Wait.
I have Tuft written down.
It is Tuft. I'm sorry. Yes.
He wasn't a badger. He was a boar.
He was a boar who, yes.
Tuft the magic boar pig.
You're not exactly sure what kind of spell casting this individual is. I mean, Leah has enough insight to know that it's probably something maybe nature or wilderness based, but this classification of magic user, you don't have a definitive answer for yet.
We'll never know. Get out the Pokedex.
You can always ask.
What's that? Pokemon.
What's that hero? Or what's that class?
What's that spellcaster?
It's fighter. It's monk. God damn it.
Yeah. Bap, bap.
What would you like to do?
Well, after my prestidigitation, I'm going to get my requisite coffee and croissant, or whatever the version of a croissant is here.
All right, you get your crescent and coffee.
Yes. I'm going to have gluten because I can.
I understand. Because Leah can have gluten. She doesn't have a gluten intolerance. It's all right, Miranda. We'll get through this together.
Yep. Anyway.
Yeah, we don't go to therapy. We just have a podcast.
Exactly.
Food therapy.
Just like everybody else.
Right.
You'll do anything to avoid therapy.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so I'm going to pull off my best two-flower impression. For the uninitiated, two-flower is the Discworld's first tourist.
Oh, wow.
A la Terry Pratchett.
Okay.
And he basically wanders around the disc, getting himself into all kinds of trouble, but he mystically never stays in trouble or gets out of the most ridiculous trouble ever because he is a tourist. And so it's kind of like the, in Mulan where the grandmom is walking across the street with a cricket in a cage to see if the cricket is going to be a lucky cricket or whatever, and everything just miraculously avoids her and the cricket passes out at the end. Yeah, so that's essentially what happens with Two Flower, is he's just in these ridiculous situations, and he's got an imp in a box that paints portraits of people, what we might call a camera, and people find themselves unable to avoid him when he's like, all right, everybody smile. They do, and they don't know why they're doing it. But it's that kind of vibe that I think Leah's going to go for. She's going to make her cloak have a nice, like, I'm a rich girl who is pretending to be the common people.
Okay.
You're so cute. And is exploring on her last venture before she goes off to follow in the footsteps of bougie mom or bougie dad.
Right.
And she's going to find... So here's her goal. She wants to be touristy because tourists can ask lots of questions and no one gets suspicious because they think you're an idiot. And she wants to find a library or something that passes as a library because then she's going to get some information on stuff. And again, if you're a tourist, you're like, so I'm writing this for my travel log. They're like, okay. And they don't really put anything like this person might be dangerous because really when you're wearing a bright Hawaiian shirt and you have like the little white zinc patch on your nose and big sunglasses and the doofy hat, you're not dangerous. You're an idiot. So Leah's really going to lean into that as much as possible.
Okay, that's fine. As you are having your croissant and your coffee and you're getting this game plan together, you've already changed your cloak. Probably did Leah do her hair any different or anything like that?
100%.
Instead of which her usual is the war braid, kind of like you have it now, right?
Yeah.
All right, what is she doing now?
I think she'll have it, well, with prestidigitation, I imagine she can kind of curl her hair, right? So she's going to have it curled and...
I will allow it, yes.
So she'll have like basically the bottom part of it will be tucked up and pinned. So, but it won't look like it's up. It'll just look like it's suddenly very short. So she's got essentially like a wavy bob. Okay. So she looks very different.
A rule of cool for prestidigitation now at my table is, yes, you can definitely change your hairstyle on a whim. Can't make it grow, can't make it change colors, but you can definitely style it with prestidigitation. I love it.
And she's going to part it on a different side, which already makes your hair look completely different. Like, remember when I had bangs and you were like, oh my God, did you color your hair? No, it's just the part that was usually dark is now in front versus the part that is light. So that kind of thing. She's doing that.
Oh, the optical illusion. I fall for that every time.
Well, it's not an optical illusion. That part of your hair is darker if it hasn't been exposed.
As you're sitting at the table, you see the chair across from you kind of get pulled out, and you hear, and Kaslan has pulled himself up in front of you. He's not wearing his jewel crafting cloak or anything like that.
His thief regalia.
He looks like he's in a very nice blue button shirt, good spun wool, not wool, but good spun shirt, basically. Not too much filigree, but well off, pants and stuff. And he looks over at you and goes, "Morning, Leah."
Good morning.
Hey, just wanted to stop by, make sure you got home okay, or got to the end okay.
Are you my guide?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm so glad you made it. I'm really excited to explore.
What's wrong with you?
This is what we're doing today.
Oh, exploring? Why are we exploring?
I'm a tourist.
Oh, yeah. You haven't been here before.
Right.
Yeah. I can do that. Sure, I could be your guide. I was going to see if I can. I don't know. I don't have any missions or anything until the heist. So
Man, you are really not good at OPSEC, are you?
What do you mean?
Operational security. You're not supposed to like say these things out loud.
Oh, yeah. I'm not, not the heist, the
poodle.
The poodle. I don't have any poodles until the big poodle.
Okay, we're going to stop that now. So what I want you to literally think about is I definitely want to do the full tourist trek because I do think that's smart anyway. I want to kind of know the ins and outs.
Yeah.
Library, want to visit a library and so on and so forth. So,
The solarium.
Perfect.
Yeah, Leah, you would know that all the big cities have their own solarium. The biggest one is in Etchings, of course, because it has the school adjacent to it. But, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
That is what you're doing. Okay. Yeah. I can take you to the solarium. It's not too far from here. I think it's open now. Yeah. It's funny. I always make fun of them, but I think I have something that you might like for like tour wise at lunch today. Yeah. I'll show you at lunch. But you want to go to the solarium first?
Let's do it in a sort of roundabout way. I want you to kind of walk me on just a relatively circuitous path to the solarium, because when we leave the solarium, I want to take a different route. So I don't want us to take the same route anywhere. Route. That's the one. That's
okay. We're going to do a lot of walking then.
Perfect.
So when we leave here, the solarium is just like a 5-minute walk back up to the front gate, the northward gate. But then we're going to have to trek all the way back down to the southeastern gate.
Perfect.
For the other event. But okay, cool. Hey, it's good seeing you.
Good to see you too.
all business aside. It's nice to have a friend around.
I agree.
I haven't. Anyways, let's go. And he kind of hops off.
You hungry?
No, I already ate.
Okay.
I ate this morning.
I'm gonna get something for the road.
The civilized road, says Balker the dwarf.
Yes, that.
What would you like for the road?
Just something that would be easy to just shove in her rendition of a fanny pack.
Okay. So basically her bag of holding.
Yes.
Which she now has. Yeah. Okay. So he gives you, I guess some nice
rolls,
bread.
Maybe.
Some rolls. Rolls are good. The rolls that he wraps up in a nice napkin with his insignia on it.
Some hard cheese.
Very hard. He hits it with a hammer.
And probably
chips it off.
And probably some sausage or something, because that's a typical like traveler's fare, because they're all preserved.
Of course. He actually will make it even better than that.
I'm basically bringing a Lunchable.
Because you're staying again tonight, he does offer a lunch service for the day. So what he does is he brings out a nice little, like a bento box, opens it up, and he takes out a serrated knife and just cuts off little pieces of bread, just in little disc form, not toasted or anything like that. But you know how you would cut up a baguette. Sticks it in there, puts a couple of hard sausages in another container, and then puts some cheese in the compartment that has like a wax around it, and then closes it, and then ties a napkin around it, and then hands it to you. He just tells you, be sure you bring it back to me when you're done.
Absolutely. I wouldn't dare otherwise.
All right. Y'all have a good day. Be safe. It's hot out today.
Bye. And I have like 3 canteens. Like I said, like the Camelback. Like I am going super into the tourist vibe.
That's not a problem. So,
and I've got a sketch pad because they don't have cameras. So I'm essentially going to be like, sketching things randomly and stuff like that. And like when I see like guards, I'm going to do that. Oh, can you pose for me real quick?
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. No, I cannot pose for you.
You look amazing.
I'm just standing here.
Oh, God. I love it.
I'm doing my job.
Wonderful inspiration.
What is your name?
I'm thinking of our conversation that you.
This is Rebecca, says Kaslan.
Hi, I'm Becky.
She goes by Becky. Okay.
You look so nice. Look. And I show the picture. And Leah is actually an artist, unlike me, so she can draw.
Give me a. What kind of check would this be?
I'd say charisma, because she's like.
Is charisma art based though?
Oh, are we doing the art check? I don't know.
What is an art check? Would it be intelligence or dexterity?
No, I think it would be.
I'm just wondering in general. We gotta get some rolls going.
Well, I don't know, because it's part of her.
You know what?
Performance, maybe?
I will let you do. Well, that's charisma, but sure, roll a performance check for now. Why not? Because you are putting on a performance per se. I can also make you do a deception check, but we won't do that.
Dirty 20.
Okay, that's good enough.
Plus whatever.
It is a nice, quick sketch for sure. No problems whatsoever.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm picturing. She's just doing these quick line drawings and stuff like that. And because, again, she's going into the tourist vibe and stuff like that. And it's enough to, like, make people let their guard down kind of thing.
As you come out onto the main road, to the right, you can see the cathedral nestled in between its own walls. And it would seem a service is going on today. You see a mass of people that are making their way into the very large, beautiful, ornate cathedral, which they do, I think every couple of days. It's just so everybody can come, want to try to make it once a week kind of thing. And there's different opportunities for people to show up. And there's also, with the cathedrals during the other times, they have like free hours where people can come in and exchange goods for services or offer services for goods. Just the more positive light of the faith in Cathaidra is that, once again, these churches are bringing places so people can organize favors for each other to help each other out.
I sketch it.
You sketch it? Okay.
Yep.
You make your way back up to the north gate and literally right to the left of the north gate.
Right to the left?
Facing the north gate, facing northward, it's on your left, right adjacent to the north gate. Is that better?
No, I was just amused by it.
I know, but I also got spun around as well. You do see the beautiful Solarium Prime. It is made, instead of the purplish stone, this stone is more I think it was like an orangish stone, is what it's made of in etchings.
I don't remember. You designed the place.
I did. So whatever type of stonework they used for the etching solarium and the Miro solarium, it seems they imported that exact same color and texture stone, which you all would know listening to the podcast what that looks like, to here to build up this beautiful tower with two adjacent side towers, of course, capped with a beautiful amber dome. Because inside the solarium, it's just a beautiful, just warm gold amber light inside from the sun.
I will sketch it. And then we'll go inside.
You got it. Are you going to stop and sketch everything?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, look out. And he kind of nudges you as an old lady with a cart comes by, and you smell like some type of mince pies that are going by as this little wheelbarrow is being trotted along by an older lady.
Cut me own throat, Diblet.
Probably. Mrs. Diblet.
Dribbler.
Okay.
Cut me own throat, Dibbler. That's what it is, Dibbler.
You go inside the Solarium Prime, and it is, of course, just a tower of rows of about 5 floors of books, and you can actually see the staircase that goes up around the edges, just like in the Miro Solarium as well. You see tables that are out and about. There are a few individuals, probably about 3, that are just sitting about. They're either looking over some books. One other individual seems to be reading a newspaper, perhaps. Just a big pamphlet of paper, and then your eye traces. You're looking for possibly the head honcho of the establishment, the Regis Prime, and you do not see him there, or you do not see the usual clothes. But you do see, and you can probably ascertain that this is the Prime, is a human individual who's probably about mid to late 30s, 38, 37. He's got some mousy brown hair that is up underneath a black bandana, which is just, over the top of the cap. Not just a rope bandana, but just, his entire cap is covered. Goatee-esque, but, hasn't shaven in a couple of days, so the rest of it is starting to fill in. Wearing just some common shirt and breeches. Breeches aren't even tucked into his boots. Covered in dust, and you can tell that as he is wiping sweat from his brow with another, bandana. It looks just like the same color of his bandana, so it's probably just a rag he has tied up. There are several crates in the back corner near their usual desk, and he seems to have just finished lifting some crates and stacking them onto a little cart. And think of it like a little, like not a skateboard, but you've seen them in stores before, a
shelving cart.
A shelving cart, yeah, and they're just putting that so he can easily move them around on little casters and stuff like that. So that's the layout. What would you like to do?
Cleaning day.
You go over and talk to him.
Well, of course.
Okay.
Leah is very talking.
Yeah, hi there. Yeah, cleaning day. Just getting some of the books that needed to be downstacked, cleaned, and sent off for repairs and such, getting them ready to go. Welcome to the Prom. Can I help you?
So I'm not from here. I'm a tourist, and I just want to know about the history of this place. You got any cool books? Plus that super weird building over there that's that wonky color. What's up with that?
I'm sorry, I said welcome to the Prom. Welcome to the Solarium.
Oh, right.
I'm the Prime.
Hi.
Prime Regis. Just call me Diego. I don't like my last name.
I'm sorry, Diego.
Yeah.
I'm Becky.
Hello, Becky, and this is... I'm Cassie. Cassie. Right. Okay. What did you need?
So I was just interested in the history of the area because, I'm visiting all the different cities because,
History of Eastway?
That's where I am, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and like that weird purple building.
The castle?
Is that what it is? It's so weird.
Yeah, it's a castle.
Why is it weird?
Are you sure you're in the right place?
Well, I'm hoping this is where you get knowledge, right?
Yeah, do you need the history section or the primary section?
What doesn't history lead to the primary?
Give me 1 second. I'm rolling an inside check.
Well, no, this was Miranda actually asking.
You would know this, Leah. The primary section is basic education. It's usually where it's the kids section.
I gotcha. Oh, so he's making fun of me. I don't know that.
Well, your disguise might be good enough for him to make fun of you. You didn't know that, Miranda, but Leah would know that.
Okay.
I apologize.
Gotcha.
He goes, roll me a deception check, by the way, just to keep up this persona.
Let's see what my deception is.
16.
16?
Yep.
Okay. His eyes are brown, and he has very tan skin, Caucasian for sure, but he looks like he gets out in the sun a lot, even though he's in here. It looks like he's the prime here. It gives you a good look, and both his brown eyes just weigh on you like two heavy stones. And he goes,
It makes a difference. She was not lying.
No, you wasn't, but you're putting on a performance and such. And he goes, so you looking for histories on the castle in Eastway?
Yeah, because and then I kind of do the thing right. Look, my dad does not think I'm super bright.
That's terrible.
I haven't exactly given him any reason to think otherwise.
Mm.
And I found that it's more entertaining this way because you kind of get to know what people really think about you. If they think you aren't too bright, they tend to tell the truth around you more. So I'm actually putting together a pretty significant dissertation of my exploration. And when he acts like what I did was stupid or this whole travel thing, because he was basically trying to get rid of me for a year,
okay.
I want to just show him that I can actually learn and pay attention.
Those are some big words you used.
Yeah. I've been reading.
Where's your dad from?
What's a good place that's like
the other side of the map? You
Yeah.
can pick like Umbrecken. That's the other side of the map.
Umbrecken. And what do they do in Umbrecken? Leah knows. And I'm sure Leah would have put together quite the story, so that's why I'm asking.
No need to really go into quite the story because he...
No, I know. I'm saying like she would have thought of like what her dad would have done like work-wise to be the wealthy whatever, because I don't know what Umbrecken does. Like Miranda doesn't, but Leah does. Like what's Umbrecken known for?
Umbrecken is... Let me check my notes. Because I created this place.
Tisk tisk.
Don't tisk me. Umbrecken is I recall it being quite a hilly type place that is known for probably some herd raising and things of that sort.
So he's a rancher.
And there's also quarry works over there as well.
So he owns a bunch of ranches and he owns he does mining and stuff like that. Okay, well I'm just saying kind of like if anyone asks, he has a way to
He doesn't ask, but he goes, look, I got a daughter myself. You don't have to pretend and dumb yourself down for anybody. Take it from me, okay?
And Leah's gonna get.
There's a lot of people in this world that want you to, act as you should. You should always strive to act as you wish. And if you wish to be knowledgeable, and he just raises up his hands, and you see just for that instant, the prime, the prime regis, who is the chief librarian, and just kind of goes.
And then he sneezes and ruins it.
You can find it here. So, histories are on the second floor. If you need anything else, you just yell down and let me know. Don't worry about the whole be quiet in here. Most people know, be quiet unless you have a question. We try to be less restrictive around. Diego! Yeah? Need your help in here? All right. Coming, honey. Y'all let me know if you need anything, okay?
I will.
Have a good day.
Let me know if you need help later.
No, I got it. He opens the door. He's like, yeah, where you at? And then the door shuts. Seems like his wife was yelling at him.
I'm going to kind of just glance at the books that were on the thing.
Oh, they're all packed in the crates.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I could see any.
Not necessarily, but working in etchings, this is just typical, books that are probably damaged or need to be copied or books that have been found, that kind of thing.
Easy with your gesticulation over there.
Oh, yeah, I keep bumping my table. I'm sorry.
It's going to tumble down.
I'm like a
wacky waving inflatable, whatever. Yeah,
arm flailing tube man.
Tube man.
From Wickapaw. Old Family Guy.
All right, so I'm going to head on up to the history section.
All right, you head up to the history section. Now, you're trying to ascertain information about Castle Ordain. Please give me a history check.
Okay. Or it could be investigation because they use whatever their version of the Dewey Decimal System is.
I will allow you to use an investigation.
Okay. Do I get advantage because I've worked in this kind of environments before?
Yes.
Yay! Hey, don't yell at me. I'm excited. What do we say was investigation?
Mm-hmm.
26.
Very easily, you find the historical section for Easeway, and you find just a tome that would say something along the lines, what is a boring history book title?
Well, you have a bunch of them behind you.
Yeah, most of those are mine. Annals of Easeway is a simple title. Pretty easy peasy. Pull it off the shelf, and it's a 3-inch brown leather bound tome.
I'll glance through the index.
Through the index, you do find city origin in there. You do find not ruins. What do you call it? It's still pristine from ancient times, like the Pantheon in Rome. What do you call that? Historical landmarks. Sure, yes, historical landmarks. Perfect. Historical landmarks is all like three parts down as well. So,
essentially what Leah is going to do is exactly what Miranda would do in this context. You look through the index because it gives you a chance to see like the cross-referencing. You see if there's any architecture or anything that like sticks out. So she wants to get a couple different ones. She wants like a very, very, very old one. She wants a very, very modern one, and one that's kind of obviously hasn't been touched for a long time.
Right. There's only one Annals of Easeway here.
No, I'm not talking about that specific book. I'm talking about like, when you go to the history section, there's like 8 bajillion books about the same topic. So that's what she's looking for, is one that's like very, very old, one that looks like it might have been a textbook at one point, that kind of thing.
Right. No, I understand what you're trying to say. As you look through there are a few others you could possibly grab.
Because usually what they have is they have references to other works.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking for with pertains to Castle Ordain. Specifically.
Okay. So you find two or three books. First off, is there any information you're trying to gather about the castle before we go to, you looking for the thread, the end of the thread? I know what you're saying. Trust me here.
I think it's more of just to kind of get an overview of, one, I think it's important to see how perception has shifted on what the castle is. That's why I was looking for a very old one. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking to see kind of like, did the town grow around it, or was it always kind of off to itself? How was it used in the past? Like, is that different from now?
Right.
The people who are in charge of it and so on. And doing it in kind of, like I said, the cross-indexy way is really important, because if you catch words or names that are repeated over and over and over again, that gives you maybe I should check that out.
So I have the perfect. So as you go and pull these books out, you start handing them to Kaslan, who makes himself, known. He's like, here, I can hold it. And 1, 2, 3, and it's starting to get a little bit heavy on him, because remember, he's a halfling. And you walk over to one of the tables. It's more like a bar, because it's a circular rail, and there is like a bar table that goes around the entire rail except for the stairs, and it's not a foot long. It's about 2.5 feet. Plenty of places for you to put a book down and stuff. Right. You start putting them down, and looking through the first book, you do see Castle Ordain was named as such during the settlement of Easeway in the beginning and buildings of the town/city. It predates the shrieking. They make that very prominent. But your archivist eye definitely picks up on the point that there is nothing about the castle pre-shrieking. There's any sentences that allude to that. Stop at, we know that the castle is pre-shrieking, and that's it. You see nothing else. And you have been in the books enough, and you were taught by one of the two of the chief archivists in the world that know how to pick up those hidden compressed threads. That it's been edited, that it's not in here on purpose.
Absolutely.
Like, the hole is too damn big for it to be a coincidence.
That's why I'm also looking for...
I got you. Trust me. You got to trust me on this. And you rolled high enough on the DC. So go ahead.
I was saying that's one of the other reasons I was looking for one of those like really old ones that get neglected is because when you're reading as a librarian, speaking from experience, a lot of times you overlook stuff like that, especially because like when people put books back, sometimes they get like shoved behind other books and stuff like that, like
Right.
or they get in a weird spot. So yeah, but
Oh no, absolutely understandable.
fleshing it out.
Now, you look over and there is actually another, I would say, book that you have found that discusses not landmarks per se, but the building of the city, how it was drawn out, how it just evolved, progressed, how as in like with a lot of older cities, say like London and stuff, the buildings are that close because chariots can go through them, but now cars can't go through them. And basically how, they tried to say etchings is very much grid. Etchings is like New York. Everything was gridded. Whoever started that and made sure they stayed on top of it kind of feeling. With Easeway, it was definitely like, okay, this is the plan. You guys are ignoring the plan, and then the plan's gone. And then they just started just building everywhere. But what you note, as Kaslan is like looking with you in another book, and he's looking through some, numbers and such, because he's trying to help you find information, you come across a sketching of the city. And at the very bottom, there is a notation of the source. And you read that. Let me make sure I word this correctly. That the sketch that's in there is very detailed and very well done. And the source is a historical architecture book, apparently, or something like that. It's very small, somewhat faded, and most would have missed it. But the footnote definitely gives you like another primary or secondary source. Because, like I said, the maps are very detailed. But it's a lot of dialogue around these images that are just printed into these pages of the books. So
It's too bad that prestidigitation can't let you trace something quickly. But I guess Leah's going to try to just like copy the map that you see. Not spending a ton of time on it. It's just sort of to get like the gist of it. Because I want to make sure that she's got one of those touristy, like, you are here maps. And so she's just kind of doing like next to it because you can really see how boundaries shift and stuff like that. So she's doing it on one of those tracer papers so she can lay it over top.
I would re-provide the information that, the source book that this map comes from, or this little sketch, may have more detailed maps if you can find it, if that makes sense.
No, I agree. And I'm going to look for it. I just wanted to do that really quick.
I didn't want you to miss that, because you rolled so high and that's the DM's very obvious. You may find what you need on the next step.
Trust me, I'm planning on getting that. But
I apologize.
It's also important because you can see, and you know this from your studies, that shifts in translation, even in sketches, can indicate something massive. So it's really important to make sure you catch what is overlooked or left out just as much as it is what is included. So she's going to go try to find that book now.
Okay. How would you try and find that book?
Well, we were just in the history section, which, following their Dewey Decimal one, there is a Dewey chart for the architecture in particular under history. So she's going to go to that section.
Okay. You go back downstairs to go up to the primary index for the entire solarium because, they're all different. They're not.
They would have one. They wouldn't have one up there in the stacks.
You know what? Why not? Yeah, over there by the stairs, they have a podium that has a nice little, small pamphlet that's lacquered and it's protected, and it's chained to the podium.
I was going to say, I'm picturing not a small one. I'm picturing one of those really humongous ones. You're just like, oh.
I would say there is a giant tome and then a tinier book on top, and the tinier book is what floors are what, and then you can use that as a reference for the bigger book. It's
exactly.
Isn't this fun? Imagine we have any listeners that are just like, oh my God, who spends as much time in the library? We do now.
You have a bachelor's in history. I have a master's in English. We both spent a lot of time in the library, and I was a librarian. So yes.
That's very true.
I'm going to go
2 floors
over
up is where you would find basically like an engineering section and architectural engineering. It's definitely a part of the library that nobody's going to go into because you can feel just how boring it is.
Perfect.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
this is exactly
in a library, if you go to one, you can feel it. If you're in the fiction section, you can feel the energy of fiction around you. That is what most people want to go to because they are trying to just find a story to read and enjoy themselves. But then there's the nonfiction section, and you see how big and thick and plain those books are. White cover, black letters, Times New Roman, or just a standard font, Math 1, Math 2, Algebra 1. And there's a comfort in that weight because there's knowledge there, true knowledge. But to wade through it, it's taxing. But it's a good feeling.
Well, that's an apt word for it because I was going to say, the modern libraries nowadays, because I don't think you've actually been in one except for like when I was working in one. You haven't
I've been in a
really
few
one
libraries
recently.
Yeah,
I'm saying recently.
I got you.
Like all of those, like now, because like a lot of people are doing homeschooling and stuff, they're all very vibrant colors. But the ones that are still forever hellishly boring are the tax ones.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like
exactly.
That's why I said tax was like the perfect taxing. It was a perfect word for it because but that's the best because they don't want to weed that section.
Right.
Because
a librarian comes by and
cares.
A librarian comes by and sees you in the aisle and go, "What are you doing here?"
Research.
Okay. No, I'm not saying in game. I'm just saying like that's how it feels whenever you're in those areas. They're like, "What are you doing over here?" Nobody comes. We don't come over here.
Yep. And weeding, if you didn't know, is when you pull books that are no longer relevant or they're damaged or they have been decided they should be removed from the library for whatever reason. Because like maybe you have 800 copies of it because everybody donates their used textbooks 3 years after and they're no longer relevant. That kind of thing.
You find up there after about another hour, and it's about 10:30 now. Oh, it's thick stacked books. They're not as organized as probably as they should be. You have a little tusk as you're walking around.
Well, I was gonna say I can make it a little faster.
You can make it faster.
I have a wand of locate object.
You could use that if you wished. Remember, those have charges to it, though.
I know that, but just for like one thing in one day.
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
I'm just trying to make it more efficient.
Yeah, that's fine. Then it wouldn't take an hour. Are you going to use it? Where are you going to use it? Kaslan goes, "What's that?"
Nothing. Go over there and sneeze.
Okay.
And I'm going to go behind another stack where, like, again, nobody's there. Make sure nobody's around.
Perception check.
And do it under my cloak. 13.
Sleight of hand check.
I don't know what my sleight of hand is. 18.
All right. You pull out your wand from the bag of holding, look around and make sure nobody's around. You're pretty sure there's no one around, and you give a swish and flick. And immediately when you're on this floor, you get a blip 3 rows to your left. And you go over there and you find the book, and it is back behind some more books. It's just been stuffed back there, and you're like, haha, and you pull it out, and it's covered in dust. At you!
Perfect.
That was a real one. What'd you find?
A very boring book. I'm excited.
Okay, and on the front, it is just a, what word did I use here? It's a sketchbook. So it is a big pamphleted, thin stacked book, and you open inside, and you see on this old paper, and you have to be very careful not to rip. There's even just a tiny tear as you move a page. You see just these very beautiful, ornate sketches of the cathedral, of the city, of the buildings, of the districts, of the solarium. You see annotations on side, all the sketches, really small, not intricate, but small, concise lettering, almost to the point of obsessive compulsion that these letters, it almost looks like a typewriter. And then, about 3/4 way to the book, you find a very detailed sketch of Castle Ordain. I mean, there is annotations around it. There is, what math went into possibly building it. You even have mappings of inside the buildings. Like you see that of the rough sketches of basically what the wall structures are probably like on the inside, and also utility systems as well. I mean, it is a very detailed book.
I'm going to, so normally in a library, you've got when you have to shelve books and stuff like that, there's going to be or if they've been working on shifting any of the stacks or anything like that, there's going to be stacks of books in random places and things like that. So basically what Leah is going to do is she's going to go to any of those and just kind of plop herself right in the center of it with a much more modern book, just a really boring, The Aqueducts of Easeway, a thesis and discussion, something like that. She's going to have the book she found tucked inside that.
Yeah, you can even see on there the the water sources and stuff. There's a few wells that are
My point is more just to hide what.
And you do. No worries. As you sit down at a nice, comfy chair.
No, I'm doing the cross-legged on the floor, hidden behind. Like what I would do is
I got you.
When I'm focused as a kid.
That's the solarium bell whenever somebody opens the front door downstairs. You sit down and Kaslan kind of props himself up next to you and he just kind of is relaxing. He's not reading anything. He's more like pulled out some metal looking tools and he's just kind of like like a little clear bottle of solution he shakes up and pulls out a nice little rag and he's like going through these little tools he has in front of him and he's jewel crafting tools and just cleaning them.
Okay, so
it does not look like, that's a thief kit. No, it's just, it definitely looks like, a pair of small tweezers, a pair of,
I'm going to ask him to just kind of do a circuit to see if there's anyone paying attention.
Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's up here with us.
And so
or above us. We're like the highest in the building. I already looked.
So what I'm going to do is when I'm sitting in there, the reason I'm having him just kind of like shuffle around and do things and make the like sneezing noises and things like that, like as he goes through, is because I'm going to, as a ritual, do the detect magic on the book to see if there's any kind of alarms or triggers or anything on it.
Okay. He says, Leah, nobody's watching us. I looked. I promise it's fine.
Well, I'm doing that on the book.
Yeah, I know you are. And he's told you, like he's positioned.
No, I'm asking you as the DM, is the book alarmed or triggered or anything? I'm sensing any magic on the book that I pulled.
So detect magic wouldn't probably tell you about any alarms unless they were magical. No,
that's what
but
I mean.
It does feel like it's just a plain book.
Perfect. I'm going to cast mending on it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to. So I'm going to continue like flipping through it, getting like
casting mending. It brings it back to a very pristine condition.
And I'm going to then see if Kaslan wants to steal it. Perfect.
We can steal it. We're going to do it now?
Yeah.
Okay, are we leaving?
Soon.
Okay. It's kind of big. And he kind of like looks over himself. Where would I put it?
Oh, okay. I guess I'll just put it in my bag of holding then.
Your bag of what?
No, I'm saying that to you.
Okay. Do you put it in there?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what did you do?
I stole it.
And he kind of lifts back your cloak. He's just like, where'd it go? And it's like the cartoonist like teleporting all over the body, like looking all over. He's like, where'd you put it?
Away.
Come on, Leo. Okay.
Not here.
All right. Not here. You're leaving?
I think the last thing I'm going to do is because, again, the whole like unbrecken thing, I'm going to go over to the livestock of ease way, an analysis of agriculture. And just like be like, see, I told Daddy you could do it that way. I knew I was right. Things like that.
You were right. We're going now? Yeah, Kaslan just seems very bored.
Yeah. Well, because I think I've gleaned the information that I need, I believe.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons, like, because the last thing you do, if you were going to take something, not that I would know this, is the last thing you do is take something and then immediately leave. Because that's like major sus.
Right. I think you are in a very good state where you can leave if you want to.
Yep. I'm going to go downstairs. And is Diego still there?
Nope. He's in the back somewhere.
Anybody there?
There's just random. There's like now 2 other people that have joined, but nobody's paying you any attention.
Cool. I'm just going to leave chatting with Kaslan just about like, oh my God, did you know that in 307 they found out just like.
Yeah. Kaslan goes, nobody cares, Leah. He's just saying softly like a good friend. He goes, it's all right. Just breathe. Trust me. This I do know about. You're good. We're good. Nobody's paying attention to us.
Oh, I think Leah's just enjoying herself, honestly.
Oh, okay.
I think Leah's just like, she doesn't like pull the side of her out ever. So I think she's a method actor. So I think she's just leaning into it.
Understandable. You get outside and it's definitely warmer in the day. And Kaslan goes, so you want to go on a tour?
Yes. But let's duck into an alley and clean up first because I'm covered in book dust.
Okay. He just seems like he's trying to understand the tediousness of all of it. So he's like, he just kind of sits there and waits for you.
Well, just an alley so I can prestidigitation.
You're not dirty.
Well, I was covered in book dust in an ancient, like, are you kidding me? You know how dirty those books are?
I understand.
When I worked at the library and I'd come home, I was filthy. Those are disgusting because people touch them and book dust is a different type of dust.
I understand. I got you.
Like, it's a different type of dust. Ugh.
We're gonna be late.
Yep.
We gotta get to the south gate.
Oh no, late for the south gate. Off we go.
Kaslan starts walking.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to do before you get to the next area?
I'm going to be, so I imagine Leah's pretty good at, because I mean, this is back before GPS and stuff. This is back when we used to read those maps and somehow remember them, you know? Like you had the Rand McNally Atlas in your car and you pull it out to know where you were going. So I think she's kind of just mentally comparing what she saw in those pristine, beautiful old sketches to what she sees around her.
I mean, just the walls, the cathedral, and now possibly Castle Ordain are the only ones I would say that are still in that book, basically, because of how old it is. All the other buildings have either been redone, torn down, or rebuilt, kind of thing.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is she's just kind of like mentally comparing, because you can see like new architecture, old, so you can kind of see where like, well, because it's like when you do go to places that are very, very old, like Rome and things like that, even if things have shifted, there are some things that can't, either because it's just like physically, like maybe there's too much stone there or something like that. So it's like, that's the sewage line. It has to stay there kind of thing. So you can start to see the original tracings of stuff.
Okay.
So she's just making note of that because there could be places that are walled off that maybe are good escape routes or might be alternate ways to get in places. Plus, I think part of her is also kind of going, well, that's where the Thieves Guild probably is, because they hope everybody forgot about that place.
You would need to roll me a insight or a perception check, I would think.
Let's do...
If you're trying to basically Rain Man the entire city.
Well, I don't think it's that.
Or Limitless the entire city.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20? I would say, I mean, you have good hunches, for sure.
Well, that's all I'm looking for. It's just kind of like, because when you're fleeing, you might need those hunches to save your life. So it's more of the pattern might make sense as you're like clicking. So it's more of just, I'm trying to put myself in a situation for when, because I do not trust Miss Bunny Lady as far as I could throw her in the slightest. I think that our initiatives align currently, but I also think that she is not telling me everything, would never tell me anything, because I'm not telling her everything. It absolutely makes sense. So I think it's more of just making sure that I have more things to pull from at my disposal, just in case.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
Patterns.
You make it to the southern gate.
Yay!
And you see a gnome, a bald-headed gnome, standing up on a cart that is attached to a hefty-looking yet older mule. And there's also an older man that is sitting facing the back of the mule and just kind of staring off like he's at a 9-to-5 job and he's dead inside.
Great.
Come, one all, tour the city, come see it. We're going to go see the wall, see everything. And there's literally nobody on this cart. It's just literally this individual.
I'm so excited.
Kaslan goes, yeah, that's where we're going. Yay! Hi, we'd like 2 tickets, please. Customers, Bog, customers. Bog does not react.
What I'm picturing is like, you know how you were saying the anime thing where it does it, where is it all over the body? What I'm picturing is like the sort of chibi, like, from Leah's right now. It's just like, yay! Can I pet the mule? How long have you been doing this? Do you like it here?
Oh yeah, we've been doing this.
Do you have a little hat for the mule?
Easy there, young lady. I'll be doing all the talking here. Yes, you can pet the mule. Oscar's the name.
Who's your good boy?
Climb up. We can get started. It's a silver apiece. Kaslan reaches in and pulls 2 silver from his bag and hands it over to this.
I'm giving Oscar
Faisley individual. Excuse me.
Faisley?
What did I say? Yeah, Faisley.
Oh, is that the name?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Which Faisley says, I'm Faisley, and this here, the cart driver is Bog, and we will be giving you this grand tour of the city today. And they're on this little podium, purple striped gold pants, you know, kind of circusy with horned, turned up boots, a nice vest over, you know, a nice little button vest, hair's done, you know, no hair, it's bald, bald individual. No. Just shocking blue eyes as you both climb up and say, all right, Bog, take her away. And then pats Bog. Bog still doesn't move. Bog may be dead.
Oh.
But Oscar the Mule just immediately after hearing that, you hear ear twitch as if that's something that's been heard 1,000 times. And then
he knows the route better than anybody else.
Yes, Bog is not driving this cart. He is just sitting there. Perfect. As Oscar is just trotting along.
And I give an Oscar scritches and stuff. Good boy.
Absolutely. Welcome to Easeway, the beautiful city of the southeast, just right outside of Vault and just south of Etchings. If you want to head up north and get your brain bigger, you can. If you want to go to the east and get your faith bigger, you sure can. But if you really want to get your hands dirty and really make your way in the world, Easeway is the place to be. Look here, and then just starts droning on about the giant walled areas of the castle, the giant districts, the upper ups where all the people of deep pockets are. You don't see any of those buildings, and you can't go in there because it's a gate. It's a gated community. They don't just allow anybody in there.
Gentrification.
Behold, the beautiful cathedral where the archcleric Twingle gives her sermons, who may be doing just that at this moment. And you hear just the wafts of stringed instruments coming out from inside the open doors of this giant cathedral, essentially, because it's built that way. Yeah, something like that. And then they continue going on discussing about, the area where the tradesmen are always tinkering and such. But after about an hour of this performance that's being put on, and you are taking all your sketches, taking your pictures, per se, you go out through the front gate and take a right, and you are now being trotted in front of Castle Ordain. Is there anything you want to try and ascertain from being close to the castle, as you're basically trekking on the road that circumvents the castle? And Thalia said, unfortunately, we are unable to go inside the castle anymore, so this trip will be cut slightly shorter than usual. However, I'll be more than happy to discuss with you about this beautiful architecture. The purplish stones we have been unable to locate, recreate in any such way or form. Therefore, it is truly unique to this time frame of the pre-shrieking. And that's the constant voice, generally going over everything you already know.
Yeah, it's like, walk this way. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, do we see this Hollywood sign over? Yeah, that kind of thing. Is there anything that I would have ascertained from digging through those books that I did that would be useful to ask? Because I imagine she's also got that, like, the sketch kind of, like, as she's sketching, she's got that pulled out to just kind of pay attention to the different ones.
That is a nicely worded question to make the DM give you more information. I want you to ask again, but with more direction of what you need. Because you basically said, based on the maps and this thing in front of me, what can I take that's an advantage to me as the player to this game? Well, which is beautiful, and that's one of the reasons why I love you. But I had to counter with why don't you tell me what you're looking for instead of just the broad looking for? Does that make sense?
Well, I guess it's like, because I don't know what specifically was in those books. I'm sure Leah does. What I'm saying is more of like, what didn't she learn from those books that would be helpful to ascertain?
What do you think she may not have learned from those books that would be helpful to ascertain?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
What are you looking for?
Ways in, ways out.
Ways in, ways out. That's a good start. That's a good solid start. As you're making your way in between both the walls of the city and the walls of the castle, which is a good 50 to 60 foot width, there are no entrances to this castle. You see no gates. It is just sheer solid wall. Like when we were in London going around the palace, and it's just wall. Like you have the mews, sure, but then all there really is a front entrance kind of thing, which is typical with any castles or any type of respectable, I'm using quotation marks there, locations that they don't want the riffraff to get in so easily, or invaders for that much.
Well, I guess like a good question to ask, like if it's not being answered by whatever you're going to say, is like, was this castle used for anything else before it became a castle?
Roll me a history check. That's a good question. See, we're getting there.
Do I get advantage because I have a bunch of books?
No, the DC is just lower.
Oh, okay. History. 18.
18. Give me a perception check as well, I would say.
11.
You see, and the DC was 10 for that, based with your history check as well. You see no scarring on the outside of these walls. You see no trebuchet hits. You see no arrow scrapes, no scarring, anything like that. It just looks like it's very pristine. And it makes you want to think like, was this for fortification? Like, that's the thought that's going to jump into your mind then and there. Like,
right. It's like when you go by and you see the fences that have like the slanted thing on top, the way they're pointed. If they're pointed out, it's to keep people out. If they're pointed in, it's to keep people in.
Right.
So it's kind of that, like, you know, you do look for that scarring and stuff. And it's like, or was this meant to just be, or if you see people that take something that maybe wasn't a fortification in the first place, it just works out that way and they turned it into something else. So, you know.
You do, when you get around to the front gates, which are closed by giant portcullises, this very wide gate, like a large opening on the very front, like very, like ridiculously large, like probably 20 wagons wide. It's kind of like interesting why they would build an opening so large. So at that, the DM will provide this place may have not been a castle per se, but a place maybe of welcoming, or...
So I was going to say, it looks more like a place where it was trade, or perhaps... Because you also gave me the map of last time to see what it would look like inside. So maybe it was... it could be almost like... Thinking what I know about like Radiant and stuff like that, you had schools, you had things like that. So it may have been more of a gathering place or something like that. A place where people... Maybe where they had their version of town hall or something. Like maybe it was a political arena.
Or another place of importance.
Yes, maybe another place of importance. Did they foot the ball here?
It was not an arena.
Stadium.
What is Leah's hunch? You already said it before, but I know it might be a little bit more solidified.
Did I say it before?
You did say it before.
Then what did I say?
You said there might be a certain something inside these walls. Maybe
Prison?
No, a quest? What are you looking for?
The mirror?
No.
Fountain?
Yes.
Okay.
You're looking for the fountain.
Obviously. And if it was something that everybody had access to, it would have been like a central thing.
You got it. So your hunch is stronger. And then I throw a curveball and it's not located here. It's somewhere in the woods. I'm joking.
And then I kill the DM. And our podcast comes to an end, ladies and gentlemen. I am afraid to tell you this. But you'll never know because I don't upload these things, so...
Yeah, these don't exist. We don't have a podcast.
Well, I don't upload them, so I don't know. We would just drop off the planet.
The cart continues past the opening. You look through inside, and it is just a very vacant. You see guards marching around inside, like, you know, changing of the guards and stuff, just going through routine stuff. Other than that, it does not look like there's any life going on inside. But you do see straight through the gates. You see the very large manor. You see the lower court, and then there's a split staircase, and then there's an upper court, and, you know, remembering the map, and you can look at it later, and you see the large manor at the back. And then just...
Was all of that original, or was some of that added on?
Roll me another perception check. That's a good question.
It'd be different stone. Be obvious, because they said they can't find that stone anywhere. 16.
The stone is gray.
Cool.
It is not the same color as the walls. That is excellent. Good question. I'm proud of you for that question.
Thank you. Well, because it's like if they were trying to hide these fountains and stuff, they might want to, because they can't move it. They can't do anything to it, especially if they can't do anything to this purple rock. They would just build something on top and over it.
You made me proud.
I'm thinking of it like the thing at like Chernobyl that they just, the sarcophagus, they just built around it.
You stand up and you see that lower court is the purple old looking cobblestone, the same as the castle, but the upper court is gray. And you can just see that barely. You'd have to get closer to, you know, go what? Figure out a little better. The cart moves around, and basically the tour guide giver goes, and that completes our tour. We are going to make our way back to the city. Please go through the gift shop. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask me should you wish. Entirely up to you. But please enjoy the countryside as we make our way back into the city.
Okay.
And then the gnome individual kind of just turns around and hops and sits down next to Bog and punches Bog on the shoulder, and Bog finally moves and turns and looks down and kind of just smiles a little bit gruffly at their gnome friend or coworker.
I picture you just like, eh.
And they go bumping along and stuff like that.
Definitely gonna look for an I Heart Easeway shirt at the gift shop. I went to Easeway and all I got was this t-shirt.
So Leah, you think and you can have probably a rather private conversation, not, you know, the two individuals are talking amongst themselves up front. You very much, once they're done with their job, they just completely ignore your existence entirely. Take my elbows off the table. Kaslan goes, Leah, you think what you need's in there?
Yes.
It's kind of heavy what you're doing.
Yeah. But that also makes it more of an adventure, don't you think?
It does, but he just kind of sighs and just sits there.
Kaslan, here's one thing I've learned. Things that are meant to be free, they don't do well when they're not.
That's not it.
What is it?
I feel like I think I let you down.
Why?
Or myself. I don't know. I don't have anybody to talk to. But when I met you up in Miro and we saved the dragon, that was never experienced anything like the. I grew up poor. I don't have family. Mom died when I was real young. The sickness, it happens. I had to scrounge, and I was really good at just picking pockets and just being a thief. That's all I was, and I just leaned into it. I heard come to Easeway. There's people that appreciate that kind of skill there. So that was my thing. And then I met you and your brother and, Rysar, and we rode a dragon. We freed a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you're showing up and you're telling me that some goddess tells you to go and turn these water spouts back on, and it'll save and it's like whispers, and it's like, and it'll save the world. You're very important. And I should have stayed with you.
Well, you're here with me now.
I am. And now, my employer is involved, and
well,
I don't know I don't even know why I'm going on this mission. I'm not even technically in this guild, but she wants me to go in with y'all, and I guess it's a great way to learn. It's just, it's odd, and I'm a common thief, and you're a hero that stories are told about. So I'm going to help, and I want to leave with you.
All right.
Because I feel like this is more important, and if my skills can be added to yours to help you, just do this thing, then what you told me is just real heavy. I haven't been able to sleep good, so
I'm sorry.
I guess what I'm trying to say is you mean something, and I guess I'm envious enough that I say I want to mean something too. So. And he reaches down and picks up your little sketch charcoal pen that you had and hands it back to you. That you just dropped. Yeah. Anyways, enough of that. We're good.
Don't worry. I think you mean more than you think you do.
Not yet, but I'm going to try to be.
Well, good, because we're going to have a little talk about the bunny lady later.
She is strictly business.
Yeah, I don't trust her.
Of course, you shouldn't trust a thief. You shouldn't trust me. I could be lying to you right now. But
I'm pretty good at seeing lies.
Candle has taken care of me. I guess she has a soft spot, maybe, or just using me. I don't know. But
I think the two can be a lot more related than we want them to be in real life. I think that's the hard thing to learn.
Maybe. But 2 days, or 1 day now, as the sun is starting to set now.
And we've already had our Lunchable.
Yeah, we've had our Lunchable, eating the bento box and stuff. And as you make your way back into the city, day one of presetting is finished. You have ascertained.
I have the little headband with the little boingy things on them with Easeway thing.
Yeah,
I Heart Easeway t-shirt. And
yeah, I Heart EW kind of thing.
Yeah. And the little keychain that lights up and then breaks the next day. And, of course, yeah, absolutely.
Kaslan's got a big thermos that says Easeway on it. And the little the visor headband kind of thing.
Yep.
I think that
oven mitts.
Right. I think that is a good place to halt this in a particular episode, and who knows, maybe I don't think Leah's going to have any plans for the next days besides just resting up and getting ready, right?
And she's going to go through every inch of that book that she removed.
Perfect. Well,
and she's going to ask if she can move to a different room because she's like, oh, I just want to have a different perspective. Just in case.
Okay. You're very paranoid, Miranda.
I am. I know you.
I'm not going to throw you in jail or anything. Thank you for coming by and listening to us today. Maybe next episode we'll get into the thick of the thieves, as they say.
Into the thick of it.
So say goodbye, Miranda.
Goodbye, Miranda.
So long, everyone. Thank you for listening. Please leave a review anywhere you found us. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Bountiful Bards. We hope to see you again on the civilized road.
And bring bread and cheese.
As the story goes, until then.